Okay, so I wanted to go over the Stabilo aquarelle pencil, which is kind of like a China marker, and you can sketch with it. But what I love is that when you wet it, it works like watercolor. So what I have been doing is I sketch out a drawing with just a regular pencil, any old pencil, and have an eraser. And then after I sketch it, I will trace it, my own drawing, with a Stabilo pencil. And then I will wet the Stabilo pencil and shade where I want the shades. And this is really fun in your sketchbook to get a quick value study. I work in a lot of color and acrylic, but more important than my color is to get the values right. You want to have enough lights, middle value, and darks. So contrast is what makes things exciting and values. So let me show you how to do this. Okay, so first I drew a little portrait here. First in pencil, and then on top of that I used this Stabilo. So here's part of a drawing I didn't finish. Now I'm not doing any shading with the pencil or the Stabilo pencil because I'm saving that for adding water. Now what kind of paper is this? Let me go over that. This is a mixed media paper. If you try this on regular sketchbook paper, the paper will be more wrinkled. It will work, but it's just more wrinkled. Even on thicker mixed media paper, it gets a little wrinkled. But it's sturdier, heavier paper, and so it works better for when using wet media. Okay, so the brushes. I use the same brushes as I do for watercolor. I got this set, I think it was on Amazon. There's a few more. And I don't use it for acrylic because the brushes will become stiff pretty quick. Even if you clean your brushes a lot with acrylic, it just gets damaged quicker. Acrylic is rough on brushes, acrylic paint. Okay, so these are my watercolor brushes. And I'm just going to use these and water, and that's it. Okay, and if I need, I can add a little more detail. So let's go. All right, so how do I start this? Well, let's just wet the drawing. And look at that. Isn't that amazing already? I just think it's so cool. So under the chin, there's a shadow. And if you notice in portraiture, a lot of times a photographer or cinematographer or painter will have one side of the face more shaded than the other, and that's the drama. So that's what I'm going to do here. This side, you can use a tissue if you or a napkin if you need to dab. Okay, so this side's going to be my drama side, the one where her face is deep in shadow. And this is just a pencil I use, and look, it has such a nice watercolor look. I'm going to switch to a small brush and get that eye area. I'm going to leave a little bit for a highlight. And I might make this all black and white, but then come back with watercolor and do the eye color. I don't know. It doesn't matter now. This is just technique to share. Okay, so this is going to be the light side. So if I draw this line all the way down that defines on both sides, it doesn't look as realistic. And that's the photographer and painter's tip and trick. So I'll just do like a little on this side. Let me get that. Now this isn't a perfectly done drawing. This is just a sketch. See what happens when you wet it? Look how dark it gets. You can do sort of a sketchy look if you want. Plus, I can go back and add more if I want. That's a bit much with the eyebrow. It's okay. Let's see, so for the lip, usually the top of a lip is more shaded than the bottom. Not always. So I'll wipe a little off and add more water. That's sort of a puddle, so I'm going to let that dry. Also, under the lip, there's a little shadow. You want to show those areas where it's deep with the shadow. So already, what a difference because of the depth of value. I think I would approach these eyebrows a little different next time. But so far I'm happy with this. Now I'm going to go back to my larger brush because it's a cheek area I'm going to work on. And this is the darker side. So let's see, I might just have coming down this shadow right here. I might have a little light. I just love this effect. Okay, so for hair, this is like a leaf. I just made this part up. There's a flower going to be up here. Yeah, so again, I can add color to this too when it dries, watercolor. Or just leave it as it is. So in your sketchbook, you can do a lot with this as a practice value study for a real painting. The bottom of the ears are usually around the bottom of the nose. And switch back and forth between large round brushes and small. The round brush is the most popular brush in watercolor, so that's why I'm using it. You can have a thick line or thin with just one. I'll show you. This is a small brush, but I can paint a thick line or a thin. Oh, that didn't work too well. But anyway, that's what you can do. It would work better if I showed you with watercolor. So hair. With hair, some people do not enjoy painting hair. I love it. You don't show every single hair when you do that. So I'll go back and make her temple area, I think, dark. I'm just going to do this very loose in here and there, under the leaves, under the hair. And now I can go back in. So I'm going to have a lot of highlight on this one. I think I need a little bit of shadow back here. As the side of her face goes back in space behind her hair, of course it'll be dark in there. Even if it's dark or light hair, you want to have a little bit of highlight. Okay, so this can quit if you get too fussy and detailed in your work, and I have done many times. This is also a good practice because it cuts out so much and gets back to basics of just values. So if I want, the neck sometimes is even the darkest area, and if I don't find I made it dark enough, put a few more brush strokes in. Now for some reason, you see the lines, they did not fade out. Maybe that's because, let's figure that out. Okay, once an area is wet, did you see how the lines did not blend like the other ones? So let me see what I did. Okay, here it's working. I'm not sure what happened there. So once in a while you'll get this, you can still see those lines I did. They didn't blend. So let me just try that again. There you go. No, you can still see it. Well, anyway, it's a sketchy tool that gives you great values. And that's about it. Let's see. If I went back in, it looks like these are cartoon eyebrows, so maybe I could show a few lines. There we go. A few pieces of hair to make it look more realistic. She has pretty pronounced eyebrows, at least this character. For this, I just found a photo online and changed it. I basically just used some of her, some of her features, and then I didn't try to get it accurate because I wanted to give her a headdress. Floral headdresses have been popular in art the last couple of years. There's also some history out lately on the history of the floral headdress in Europe and different places, in Africa, all over, which is just this incredible cultural history of women being adorned, and even men with their headdresses with plants and flowers. I find it fascinating. I have, see what happens when you're talking and I kind of ruined that part. That's okay. Again, this is just a sketch. It kind of looks interesting. So this, I'm going to make this darker because it's in the shadow more. Now I better quit while I'm ahead and before I ruin it. Okay, so that is so fun. I think maybe I might add one color in the flowers and the eyes. But then again, maybe I'll leave it like that. So give it a try. And then next time I want to share how to use the elegant writer with the same effect, only it works a little different. I'll tell you how later. So enjoy your sketching and ideas for paintings or just to play and learn more with a Stabilo pencil.